T-Show on the other side of his talent core there.
Doing that R&B shit I like to do, man.
Man, R&B
Yeah.
is a lost thing.
What
man. I think
is
we need to come
going
back.
on, people? What's up, TikTok? What's up, Instagram? What's up, Hypers Radio? What's up, Shadow Promotions?
Hey,
What's going on, man? How you guys doing? Long overdue. I'm here. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, pimps, players, hustlers, the
And
women that we love,
Everything in between.
the hoes we skip over. Welcome to another episode of the Spotlight here on Hype-Radio.com. Of course, you know I'm your man Shadow, and I have a special guest here tonight that I've been watching over the years come from a rookie to a well-seasoned vet right about now. Like, he's really doing his thing. I remember when bro was coming to the station, if y'all remember the station. Hold on, we got a
Station,
little
man.
technical difficulty.
Before it
Before it went all motherfucking crazy.
before that shit went crazy, before that shit got shut down, and unfortunate events occurred for that to happen. But man.
I had to take the fault for that. I let people promote that I shouldn't have let promote, but you know, it is what it is.
I mean, shit happens.
But let me go ahead and run it down because I got to give a shout out to the cities that support us here at Hype-Radio.com. Hello to the West Coast. That's Washington, Oregon, Cali, San Diego. Shout out to Vegas, Texas, Georgia, Detroit. Shout out to Cape Town, Africa. And yes, one day I'm going to get there soon. Brazil.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to get to
Brazil.
But tonight, like I always tell y'all, I'm always going to bring you the best of the best. And tonight is no different. Tonight I bring you Sacramento, one of your own, one of your homegrown, one of the cats who is on the outskirts making noise, and he's pretty much running up the bag in his own city, in our little city that we call Sacramento. Roseville, you finally got one.
Roseville.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you tonight. It is my honor and pleasure to tell you that in my studio is Mr. AT.
Man, what's going on, man? How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here.
Bruh.
Shout out, how you doing? Hype Radio. I'm glad to be here. And
Man, I'm so
shout out
glad.
to Roseville. Shout out to my city, man. Shout out to my team at Typical Records.
Uh,
out to Look at the Music Group,
where's
man.
the peoples? I know y'all busy. Y'all could have came through too, man. It wasn't just an invite to AT. Y'all
Nah.
could have rolled up.
Nah, people got shit they got going on and
Hey,
shit,
bro.
but I'm here, I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to go. And once again, shout out to my team at Typical Records, man. Shout out Look at Me Music Group real quick before we get started. Showtime tomorrow night, man.
AT handling his
11-5
business.
Sacramento, man. Typical Records, Look at Me Music Group. We're gonna be doing our shit downtown Sacramento. Hit us up, man. My tickets personally is done. They're gone. They're sold out, but tickets at the door are $25, and there's still a few pre-sales left. So make sure you hit us up. But I'm here. I'm excited, and let's get into it, man. Let's do it. I haven't done an interview in a minute. I've been really in the cut, just making music and really working. So
And handling life.
yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go run the background real quick. So
Mhm.
this music thing that we in here that we love so much. How long have you been in the game, bruh?
So I've been in the game. I started in 2010. I started back in the mixtape era. So I was in the mixtape era with like Dat Piff, and this was like
Judah Black?
a year into Twitter, and this is before Instagram, and this is right when SoundCloud was starting. So
Okay.
when we first started, we were really focused on always the quality of the music and like how we were doing it. And you know, in the beginning, we were rookies, so you know we were learning a lot of shit. But really, it was just about, we weren't focused on streams or nothing like that, or sales, because we didn't have physical product yet. We were focused on getting out there and doing mixtape shit. So we were focused on downloads.
Okay.
That was what we were focused on in the beginning. So
That's where it started.
we were focused on downloads and how many people were tapping into that. So once I started seeing that shit, you know, people starting actually to starting to download the music and really tapping in, even in a small market. I understood because I'm a marketing major, you know, went to college for that, and so I understand 4 P's of marketing: promotion, product, placement, and price. And so I understood that, you know, with the promotion, product, and placement, you know, placement wise, we were doing mixtapes, but price was free, and you know, promotion wise, you know, we were college kids, so we didn't have the marketing and the capital at the beginning to really push the product and really compete with the majors.
Okay.
So I understood numbers wise what we were analyzing couldn't be the same as the majors. So I would take like, yo, if somebody might download my shit 200 times, like I might even do a major marketing. In the beginning, I was like thrilled about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we just tried to build off of that. And so I started off with this marketing kind of campaign, which was called Flood the Airwaves, which was just flood the airwaves with as much music as possible. So I was a huge Wiz and Currency fan. So Currency was dropping mixtape every month. So I basically took that mantra and was like, I'm about to do that and just every month. So in 2012, I dropped I dropped a mixtape every single month. I dropped 10 main ones and then a couple small ones in between, but dropped 10 mixtapes in that year, and you know, started off with this one called Backpacks and Dreams, and then went from there to another one called Loretta, and then I did another series of ones after that. Another one called Humble Beginnings. Did quite a few ones. I did one called Time After Time. And then at the end of that, I did a mixtape series called The World Is Yours. So it was 3 mixtapes. The first one was called The World Is, or the first one was called Recognize, excuse me. It was called Recognize The World Is Yours.
Okay.
So the first mixtape was called Recognize. The second one was called The World Is, and then the third one was called Yours. And that was dropped over the time frame of 2014 into the end of 2015. And so after I did that, then did one more mixtape after that, and then I was really started to focus on singles in 2016, 17. So musically, I really went from the mixtape era to focusing on projects and then singles and you know, moments and visuals after that. But I've gone through a lot. There's a lot I've gone through in my career. So, you know, we could be here all day with that. But started off like that, and you know, we were independent with it. You know, we were independent when we first started, and you know, we first started in just in my boy's crib in the basement type shit.
Damn.
You know, in his apartment in the basement, making mixtapes, mixing shit out of GarageBand, dropping shit. You know what I'm saying? But
take it back.
We were doing it like that, but we were really dedicated though. And we really understood from the very beginning, foundation-wise, what we were really trying to do as far as lyrically and the type of music we were trying to put out and the image we were trying to portray. So from the very beginning, it's always been a very focus-based thing. But glad to still be here, you know, 12 years later.
Man, that's an amazing career.
Yeah, man, I've been around.
Yeah, because if you started in 2010, let's see, we were in the station
So,
around what, 13, 14,
2013, 2014.
something like that.
And
when you
I was doing shows before that. You know, like I was signed to a subdivision of Sick With It Records called J-Rock Management. Shout out to J-Rock. And I was on that from 2013 to 2018. And so I was doing, you know, the boardwalks and all the shows at Ace, and you know, did a couple tours. And
I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I miss the boardwalk, man.
I do too. I'm glad it's back now.
What?
It's back. One of my guys, shout out my boy Jameezy, him and his group Diversity of One just did a show there a couple weeks back. It's back. Shout out to Boardwalk. It's back.
Jameezy?
Yeah.
Jameezy, you gotta come sit down with me, bruh.
Shout out Jameezy, bro, and Diversity of One, bro.
Yeah.
They just went out there. They did a show there a couple weeks back. And
That's what's up.
it was dope, man. He had his son on stage and shit. That shit was dope.
Yeah,
Sure,
shout out Jameezy.
Yeah.
Fast forward from the station. Now, you come from Roseville.
Yeah.
That is, we'll call Roseville your block. Your
That's my
block
city.
really hasn't dove into I want to say the whole music game, because I don't even know of an R&B singer that's come out of Roseville.
There's not been no major artist that ever came out of Roseville.
Now, how is that as a market? Because you're like brand new there. So what's the reaction?
Well, here's what's crazy with it is like I've been doing it in the city for 12 years, and like my city, they know about me. Like they know what I'm doing.
Okay.
At the same time, though, market-wise, I'm still new to the market to an extent. So, you know, even so for me, I'm able to take advantage of being a veteran, but at the same time being a new face to an extent, because some of these people, even in the city now, even though I've been around for a while, they're just now waking up to hip hop being something that's culturally impactful.
Okay.
Because of their kids. So you know, a lot of the kids that are in my city that you know go to the schools and and you know are a little, you know, have privilege and have those things. Those kids, they listen to hip hop. They're listening to the shit that I'm making.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Listening to the stuff that, you know, is obviously major industry shit, the Lil Babies, the Drake, stuff like that. But like some of these kids that I know because of my coaching, Coach Ball for the last 8-9 years. Shout out to my kids. I love all y'all, man. They always was tapped into the music, and I appreciate that. So some of their parents now, they get tapped into to what's going on, and
Okay.
so it's taken a long time, but it's starting to
You kind of
slowly happen. So I'm
grew your fan following.
I'm really diligent with this shit, and a lot of dudes would have switched up and moved to LA or did some other shit and been like, I could have got it faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've experienced, you know, labels coming. You know, like we had that. You know, we being on J Rock Management, we had opportunities that came to us 2015. I didn't really talk about it a lot because it didn't come into fruition. But you know, we had, you know, the label talking to us and working with us and trying to get us a deal and shit. But it was just like we were not. It was some shit that didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as ownership is concerned, and like the money was there, but you got to think about what the money is. Like it's a loan, so that loan on top of them owning what you are creating it eliminates the leverage that you come in with off the jump. And a lot of labels, I know this for a fact, don't like artists or people that are coming into those situations that are knowledgeable on that shit and understand that.
Yeah, that's a little.
And I know for me, like, you know, I've always understood that shit, so I know, and I've been outspoken about it. I've said it in songs where I'm like, I don't need the label. I've been able to get it on my own because I've been able to still do things. But I also know that, you know, there's probably times where they've wanted to kind of reach out and do things, but they know that if you bring something to the table to me, like, you can't bring the same shit that you bring to everybody else. Like, I'm really gonna read the contract. I'm really gonna know what's going on and understand what it is and what I'm bringing to the table. I'm the one that's bringing everything leverage-wise and career-wise, and, you know, my EPK at this point is too big for any of y'all to come through and try to, you know, do something that doesn't make sense for me. So I'm really intelligent in that, and I like being independent and moving in my own way. And, you know, and we're going to get to the point too where we're talking about, you know, kind of the back end of that, where as an independent, the things you need to have to make sure you can, you know, stay afloat and do what you got to do. So, but yeah, you know, that's kind of where I've been at with it over the past few years, especially.
Now, with the inner knowledge you have as far as reading your contract and making sure you're going to get what you get in the ownership, did you study that, or is this learn by fire kind of thing?
I mean, I've always been aware of it. It's because I've always been knowledgeable on like the industry and like what's going on and contracts and seeing horror stories and things of that nature. But also too, just me going to college and being a marketing major, like I also took contract law throughout my course or throughout my time in college. And so when I took contract law, I kind of started to understand the basis of and the foundation of what contracts really are and what they mean and how to actually navigate reading a contract versus just reading it. There's the difference between just surface level reading something versus really understanding what you're reading. So once I started to understand that and realize what it was when I started music, I understood, okay, I'm creating a product and you're creating leverage right off the jump because you're creating a product. And it's not a product that's depreciating off the lot. This is a product that's you're, you know, increasing value over time as you're continuing to create. So as you create that leverage, you're creating more opportunity for yourself to put yourself in a better position. And when you're sitting across the table from these big wigs, even though they might have the money and the things that, you know, could change your life, you still at the end of the day have all the leverage and the ownership of everything that you're bringing to the table. So, you know, it's like you got to think of it like you have the two hands and you're bringing it to the table. Nobody else is doing that for you, so you got to take it. You got to think of it like that. And saying no, you got to be willing to say no. And I said no really early on in my career as well too. There was a couple early label opportunities I had early that I never publicized because it was for me, you know, like this is like really the first time I'm even really like talking about this shit. Like it was really for me, like because I knew that I had something, and so like being able to be offered something as early on as I was being offered it, I knew that okay, just keep going and doing what you're doing. So if I had any advice to any up and coming artist right now, just rely on your leverage and rely on you and bet on you at all times and never let anybody come in and try to like cut that, you know, because you're the one that's creating that for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wisdom. Jewels being dropped by AT tonight. So, coming out of Roseville and then doing what you've been doing all this time,
Yeah.
you ended up really fucking with the Kings.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man, that opportunity came about. First of all, shout out to the Kings, man. Shout out to the Sacramento Kings. I rock with the staff, rock with the whole team, rock with the whole situation that I was put in with them, man. Shout out to them, man. They follow me on Instagram. Shout out to them. that's a gem when you get that to happen. I was like super excited about that because backstory. So I'm a Hooper kid. So like I grew up wanting to be in the NBA. You know, I grew up wanting to be Jordan, be Kobe, and that was my thing though. And I was a good player, and I had an opportunity to go play professionally overseas, but I was doing music, and you know, I started really recording music seriously when 2010 time when I was about a junior in college, and so it became a part of my schedule where it was you go to class and 7 a.m. to 1 whatever or 2, and then you get done, and then you go to practice and you go home and do homework, and then you get done with homework at 8 or 8:30 or 9 or whatever, you go to the studio. And then you sleep, go to the studio, record, and then once you're done recording, you go to bed, wake up, and then go to class.
Replay.
And do it all over again. And so this was my process, was every day was doing this. And, you know, now that I'm out, I can talk about it. Like me, I was, living 2 lives, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to William Jessup University.
Nice.
Which is a great school. It's a Christian university, liberal arts based, but it's Christian. So, there's certain unwritten rules that they don't want you doing certain things there, going out partying, drinking, being a college kid. They don't want you doing that shit.
They didn't want you to have college fun.
Me, I didn't care.
He was hard-headed.
I was doing it.
He was hard-headed.
I lived 2 lives, but my thing with it though was I was handling my business in the classroom, on the court, doing what I had to do. I was a 2-time all-conference player. The 2 years I was there as a basketball player, I won a award called the NHABC Award, which was a National Honors Basketball Court Award for students that had exceptional performance on the floor and on the court and off the court, which is in the classroom and on the court. So playing well on the floor and then also doing well in the classroom, and was able to achieve that award. And so for me, I always balanced that. I never let it get in the way. And I always thought it was fun, like I'm like, hey, I gotta balance this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a part of my maturity level at the time and figuring out how to be an adult and balance your responsibilities with having fun.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, you own Roseville. You done rocked with the Kings. Now,
Yeah, in the King situation, bro, and I didn't even get to really, so I'll summarize. So shout out to my boy Andy. Basically how that King situation happened was, I'm at my house. I just made this song called Sushi. Very low key. I was just releasing on SoundCloud. It's one of my singles.
Shout out Gary Archer.
Hey, shout out Gary Archer. Hey, Gary Archer in the building?
Yes,
Hey,
he
shout
is.
out, bro. Hey, real quick. Gary Archer, you a legend, my man. Shout out to you, bro.
He is.
And I know I'm like, almost like, probably like a kid to bros. I've followed him before, and I gotta, hopefully we get to follow one day. We gotta work. But shout out to you, man. I rock with you for real. I always rock with you. You a legend to me. But with the Kings, so my boy Andy, shout out to Andy, photographer. With me and my lady Jenny, shout out to my lady, love you to death. She, when we met each other, we're downtown Roseville and Union, and my boy Andy is a photographer. So he's taking pictures and shit. He takes a picture of us. So we stay connected from that point.
Nice. Shout out to Andy then for the hookup.
2018 comes around, I dropped the song Sushi on SoundCloud. I was just getting into Spotify, distribution shit, all that. So I wasn't really on Spotify like that yet. I end up, dropping this song. I dropped a mixtape, that one I was telling you about, that trio. The end of it was called Yours. The song I had on there was called The Wave, and my boy Andy really liked that song. So I'm on Snapchat, I dropped Sushi. He sees it, he's like, yo, this is dope, but like, where's that song The Wave at? I was like, yo, I got it, I'll send it to you, but like, check this out. It's the new shit. He's like, all right, cool. Day goes by. About to go to bed the next night. I check my Snap again. He's in my Snap. He was like, hey, I got a female that wants to work with you. So I'm thinking like, okay, like it's an artist. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, that's cool. It was like, nah, it's a DJ. She heard your song. I played your song Sushi because like I like that shit. And we were at a little party. I played it for her in her ear as she's DJing. I played it for her because I just was playing it and I was like, this is dope. Played it for her like, yo, you gotta hear this. So this is my boy doing work for me. I didn't even ask him to do this shit.
That's real.
She hears it and she was like,
support
yo,
that.
that's dope. I want to play it at the next Kings game. I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, she's the Kings DJ. Shout out DJ Lady Kate. She used to be the Kings DJ. She takes the record. I send it to him. She takes it. She goes, I want to play it at the game. I end up getting invited to the game, get her contact information. She tells me, hey, when you park, come in, let them know you park. They'll take care of you, put you in the loft. We're going to play your song at halftime. The night before, shout out to my boy Hennessy. He's out in Vegas now, but shout out Hennessy. He was playing it to do the keep it in rotation thing. He had Sushi was on there the week before, and then it got voted in and was kept in rotation the night before the Kings game. Shout out to Hennessy. So I go to the Kings game. She texts me like, hey, it's halftime. She goes, hey, it's about to play. Bro, 5 minutes later, boom, plays that shit at halftime. I'm thinking, man, this is crazy. I'm tripping. I got a video of it on my Instagram. It's a dream come true because I got to combine my dream of being in the NBA, but also doing music. I didn't fulfill my NBA dream, but I knew when I started music that I wanted to get to some space where I could do something special. And for them to create that opportunity for me, and not just create it. DJ Lady Kate approved it, but it was the King staff. It was their their team that approved it as well, that heard the record. I'm an engineer, I mix and master and stuff, and that was a record that I did myself and wrote. And, they approved it and thought it was a great mix, and for them to approve it and have it played, it was incredible. So I really am appreciative of what they did for me. It really helped elevate my career at that time, and even to this point now, it's one of those feathers in my cap that not a lot of artists can say that they've been able to do. And so for me, I didn't look at it like that where I'm like, oh, I'm the dopest dude. I looked at it like, yo, this is great, but now I want to use this as a stepping stone to create opportunities for the next person.
So basically, what's next?
So what's next? Yeah.
Got it. Now, we didn't own the Golden One. When the pandemic hit,
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of shows out here.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there was no shows out here. It was not
No,
happening.
there wasn't.
So,
We had to pivot.
pretty much, did you take the time to write more?
Yeah.
Or were you one
Bro.
of the ones who were building studios
So
in the
no.
room?
So what I did in the pandemic was, first of all, I was writing more, and then I dropped a couple of projects, was dropping singles, and then that's when TikTok really started. So I started my TikTok, really got onto the wave doing my TikTok, and then I was an engineer at City Sound. Shout out to City Sound, CSSB, man, City Sound Soundbite, man. Shout out to my people over there, man. All of y'all, Josh Joran, X James, the whole squad at City Sound, the whole squad at Soundbite. You know who you are. I love y'all. I was a sound engineer there for about a year and a half
Okay.
during the pandemic, and then also at the time was just doing, like I said, projects, singles, networking, working with artists, engineering other artists' music, being a part of their projects, helping them grow. Just doing different things at that time. I started my podcast, which is called Tea Time. Season 2, the real Season 2, launching this fucking fall. End of this fall. I give it a couple weeks. We were supposed to shoot our first show a couple weeks ago, but we had to move some stuff. So, started my podcast.
Just jump there and hit that live button. I don't know what happened with that one.
I started my podcast, so I had a podcast called Tea Time, another one called Double Double with my boy K Sims. Was doing that, and so I just really was just expanding my platforms outside of just music. Was doing my singles, dropping my projects, so was doing that, and was still doing local shows. We started a showcase series called Listen Local. My buddy Jesse, shout out to, oh my God, that's him. He's an artist. He started this showcase series called Listen Local, and so we were able to still do shows at the time, and still create opportunities to be able to do that. So we really just maneuvered and tried to create as best as we could, and still push. And then at that time too, I was really focused. That's when I really dove more so into. I've always been focused on the business side, but really focused more so on just the marketing, PR, and not just the PR with working with a couple different companies and exploring and experimenting, but with our own team and working on how we're pushing ourselves and how we're pushing our own music, how we're recording, writing, mixing, mastering, pushing ourselves, promoting ourselves, presenting ourselves, working with the correct people that are going to capture the moment so they can present it in the way that we need. Shout out to my man, Mace Trigger, man. Shout out to my man, Logan Schutz. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, man, they're great photographers, videographers. Shout out to my man, Josh Joran. All these dudes, man, they bring what we're doing to life, you know what I'm saying? And so I really appreciate those guys for being a part of what we do. So, yeah, we were really trying to just rock and just continue to elevate, not just from a musical standpoint, but from a business standpoint and, you know, from an artist standpoint as well, too. Just trying to continue to elevate.
Now, with you being able to engineer projects, have you done a lot of engineering on your own projects?
Yeah, I engineer all my own stuff. So, like, I engineer everything you hear from me. I engineer everything. There's times in pockets where, like, I've worked with people, but, like, I say 99% of the shit you hear from me is from me. So I mix, master, engineer all my stuff. I make beats. So, like, the projects like Game Time and Blackout and Me Too and the Visions EP, Still Here, all these projects, I produced all those beats and made all those beats. The recent singles you heard from me, like Tease Jam and Bad Little Ting, I-80.
Right. I'm listening
All
to
that,
you.
like, I produce all that stuff, so, yeah, man.
Now, with that being done, because you're wearing a lot of hats to be doing all that.
A lot of hats.
Like,
and I'm going to have to hit a bathroom break hat in, like, 20 seconds. Not real shit.
okay, so.
But I am wearing a lot of hats, though. And on the point I'll make on that is this, before I do this real quick, is wearing a lot of hats, I love doing that. Growing up as a little kid, I used to love watching, you know, making the video.
Okay.
And I used to love when I would see the artist, like, do the song and perform the song in the video, but then, like, go behind the camera and shit. And, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, that's where I really got that shit from.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna elaborate on that shit.
Let's do this real quick. Why don't you go ahead and introduce
All right.
the I-80,
Yeah.
and then while you do that,
So,
you go and handle your business.
My new single here's my new single right here. I got 2 new singles I'm debuting. The one I just had come out last month is called I-80, produced by myself. And when I'm producing beats, I go by the name of Kid Spaz on the beat. This beat is produced by me, man, and this track's written by me, mixed, engineered, mastered by me, man. Just like your Russes of the world. It's called I-80, man. Check it out. Especially for all my folks from 916 Sacramento, Roseville, California. You jump on the I-80 every day if you go to work and if you're just traveling anywhere. This is I-80 by AT. Check it out.
Here we go.
Yeah. Right.
We got you playing, bro. Don't even worry about it. Mr. AT with his new single, I-80. Sacktown, Roseville, stand up, you got one.
Yeah, cruising down I-80, kicking back. It's a bright sunny day, a Californian. I know just how to get the job done. New shit up on my plate, I get to eat ton. Munch on it, ice spice, shit I do it right. California green got me on this here flight. She a badass bitch, so she take right. And the nigga got it, I'm delivering it all night. For you to be able to do this shit, you gotta be focused, dedicated, diligent. When I get the rhyming, I feel like I spit the illest shit. Good God to some, but to others, I'm the villain kid. Playing 2 roles like an actor. Full-time grinder, motherfucker, I'm a factor. I'ma keep on going on in, cause I have to. And bitch, I'ma keep on living new chapters. Yeah, riding down the I-80, I'm lit. Smoking a J, I'm high as a bitch. Riding down the I-80, I'm him. I'm doing my thing, I'm getting it in. Riding down the I-80, I'm lit. Smoking a J, I'm high as a bitch. Riding down the I-80, I'm him. I'm doing my thing. I'm kicking it in. Ay. Riding down the I-80, I'm lit. Smoking a check. I'm high as a bitch. Riding down the I-80, I'm him. I'm doing my thing. I'm kicking it in. Ay. Ay. I'm kicking it in. Ay. Yeah. Riding down the I-80, I'm lit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Quick pick. Ladies and gentlemen.
that is I-80 by Mr. AT. So,
pick.
quick pick. What? Did I get in there quick enough?
Here we go.
We gonna do?
Here we go.
We doing everything tonight.
There we go. All right.
Here we go. We
Yeah,
doing it
man.
all tonight.
I-80 almost at 50,000 streams on Spotify. Shout out to all my
Ooh.
Spotify people, man.
Shout out. So
Streaming.
I know the motivation behind it, but what were you doing when you decided to make I-80?
Yeah. So
Shout out to Modelo because you pretty much sponsoring the show tonight.
Shout out to
unofficially.
Modelo.
Matter of fact, Modelo, you need to go ahead and holler at AT.
real quick.
He need that
I'm gonna hit him
sponsorship.
with a sponsor real quick. Are you chilling at home? Is it a Saturday night? Is it a Sunday afternoon? Is football on and you need something to drink that's cold? Well, Modelo's got you covered. Ice cold Modelo, found in the can, in the bottle, or in any way you need. 12 packs, 18 or 6. It comes in any fashion. Modelo, crisp and cool. Gotta love that right there, man. Let's go.
That is a fucking first.
Hey, you gotta love that. That's great.
Modelo, if you don't holler at AT now, y'all cheating yourselves. This man done did a whole commercial for y'all.
I got you.
Damn.
Come on, y'all.
Woo. Okay, so back to
Yeah.
I-80.
So I-80. So when I was writing I-80, so basically, so like when I make beats, like first of all, I love making beats, and like it's my own style. It's me being creative, not just as a songwriter, but as a producer. So when I was making I-80, like me and my lady, we were listening to a lot of like Larry June.
Shout out Summer 33.
Shout out to Larry June. So we're
Larry
listening to
June
a lot of
is
Larry
hot
June.
right now, too.
And I was watching Larry June's fucking documentary and shit. And like, I was just like, man, like, I love his beats because like he's got Cardo beats, and those beats are the same style beats that Wiz used to do back in the day when I first was coming up.
Okay.
So like I was really influenced just by like the era that I came up in and like his new shit. So I was like, I'm about to make a beat. So I'm making this beat, and then like I'm about to get done with it, and then my lady comes in and she was like, hey, like you should add some shit. Like you should add the little like the little. I was like, oh, the Cardo shit. And she was like, yeah. I was like, for sure. So I added the little in there, and it fucking came together. After I added that shit, I was just in a vibe, and I just fucking wrote that shit. And wrote it, I recorded it, I mixed it the same night, got done with it, listened to it a bunch of times, smoked like fucking 5 bowls, listened to it, and I was like, this shit's dope. And I dropped it, and now it's almost got 50,000 streams on Spotify, so shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah, shout out to A Scooby Music Official for letting it be known as 50,000.
50K, bro, thank you, bro.
Now, with the way the music game is now, and it's not more so creating projects, it's more so on the single type situation.
Yeah.
Now, with you being as deep as you are in thought and creativity, do you prefer a project or do you prefer the singles and putting all your inside into the singles?
I mean, I like doing EPs.
Okay.
Like, I like doing like 3, 5, or 7 song EPs to really express. So like my EP I dropped this year, Still Here. Like it's me talking about,
Shout out Richie Collins.
you know, still being, you know, in the literal, still being here after 12 years. But at the same time, just storytelling and talking about moments and talking about things that people emotionally I know are not only going through but can feel.
Okay.
So I got tracks on there like Resilient, where I'm talking about like, well, I say like no quitting my DNA. I just keep shit going. Ain't no stopping. Hey, what I look like quitting at this point, bro. There's no way that could ever be me. No, like not quitting. Another song called Rise Up, where I'm just talking about just rising up, just rising up from the ashes of anything that you've gone through. I got another record on there as well too called 10 Toes Down, where it's just me talking about just being real to you and to whatever situation you're in, whether it be with your lady, whatever. So there's a lot of different like moments on there where I'm talking about themes. And so expressively, I love doing EPs because I'm able to do that on there, where I create a body of work where I'm really telling the story.
Okay.
And then the singles are able to, they kind of play the, it's like being at practice and, you're doing the hard drill, but then in between you're doing the fun shooting drills.
Right.
You're doing the things that keep you going. Those are what I treat the singles as the fun drills, the stuff where it's like, hey, we're listening to the projects, it's like we're really getting in depth, but then with the singles, it's like we're having fun with it, and it keeps you on balance. So for all year, for 12 months, you're getting, storytelling, you're getting fun, you're getting a balance of seriousness and also what music really is about, which is to create emotion and emote emotion that creates a positive feeling. So you don't want it to be a too serious of a situation where you're having people tax themselves as listeners.
Okay.
You want to have a balance, so that's what I try to really focus on.
Now, with that being said, you're saying how music is kind of the expression and not taking things too serious. There is a serious part of the music, which is the music business.
Yeah.
With you coming in through marketing and self-teaching through working with other labels, and you never really start out with a small label, being on affiliated or sick with it label. Like, how did you come up with your business sense in this game? Because that's important. A lot of artists don't understand it, and they're not following it, and that's how they keep getting burned. Could you please give some jewels on the business side of this?
Yeah, man, I think it really starts off with knowing yourself. Like, you got to know who you are first. Like, know who you are and know what you want. So once you're able to determine what you want from it, then you can really start maneuvering business-wise. You really shouldn't start conducting business until you really go through that process. Figure out who you are, fail a few times and shit, go through some ups and downs and fail and figure out who you are, and then you'll be able to go. I think for me now is because I've gone through so much shit, failures, many a times where, you've tried shit and it hasn't worked. But now I've gotten to the point where I have a system and I have a formula. And business-wise, I've always had an understanding of how things should go. You have a product, you're presenting a product, there's a certain value that you can create from that product based off of how good that product is. And based off of that, that should determine how you're able to maneuver from there. If you're not able to create a product that's worth having a conversation about, then there's really no reason for you to be getting upset or mad when those phone calls or those opportunities aren't created for you.
Okay.
You just got to be real with yourself and be real with who you are. I think we're dealing with a lot of oversaturation right now in music, where there's a lot of access to it, so it's very attainable and easy to create. And so that creates a lot of entitlement, which is unwarranted. And that entitlement has created a lot of music that has saturated the market. And it's not our problem, the ones that are doing it the right way. It's not our problem to deal with that. What we need to continue to do is to continue to create good music and do what we're doing. You gotta be able to maneuver through that stuff. And so I've always just looked at it as just me. I just try to stay consistent each and every month with singles, projects, visuals, TikToks, funny videos, posts, life, all that, to where you stay relevant to the point where you're tangible. And then I also try to stay tangible, in my own city, where you step out from time to time. You go out, go out to your local bars, go out to your local places. When you're at your local restaurants, shaking hands, doing what you got to do. When people recognize you, giving them the energy, and just being present in the moment. So those are the things I really try to continue to focus on. Because I know, for me, representing this city and representing Roseville, no one the fuck else is doing this shit or trying to do it. So I know I'm carrying a burden that nobody else is carrying, and I'm willing to say that shit and stand on that shit. So, for me, it's I love it, you know, and I love everything that it comes with, and I love everybody that I work with, and all the artists that I work with, and just the whole city and the community in general. So we're gonna keep going up, bro. Let's keep it rocking.
Okay. Say less. Now, with Roseville being like your home base,
Mm-hmm.
is there a lot of places for you to be rocking out in the Roseville area?
Mhm.
Because I mean, basically that's your
I mean,
home front.
Roseville, Sac, Roseville, we got Goldfield. Shout out Goldfield. We're about to start working with them.
Okay.
Root Happening, shout out to them. Union, shout out Union, Trocadero. There's a few spots, but you got to create the opportunities though. And like I've always known from day one, like if you want the environment that you've always seen and you want to seek that environment and live that environment, you might have to just create that environment for yourself.
That's exactly
You can't
what
wait
gotta
for
do.
somebody to create that environment for you, because when they do create that environment for you, it's not going to look the way that you originally wanted it to look. And even when you're creating the environment for yourself and you got your own paintbrushes and your own paint, it still might not look the way that you envisioned it to look for you. So you got to find a median and a balance in between the two, and find a way to find solace and happiness in that. And that's how you grow. If you can't find that solace and happiness in that, you're always going to be looking at shit negative as fuck. Every situation, every show, every fucking thing you do, you're always going to be like, man, it could be this, or it could be that. You don't want to do that shit. Find some solace and some happiness in the median, so you can keep growing. Because if you can't find happiness in the median, then that shit is never going to play. It's never going to grow. It's never going to grow. It's just going to plateau. So keep that in mind.
Okay, so when AT has a bug that bit him and he needs to go to the studio, what does AT take to the studio to make sure that he performs at his best?
Well, first of all, I got my own studio, so I can go to my own shit. So when I go to that shit, but I need to be able to perform my best. Really, I just need the time. That's it. I just need the time to be able to to record a song and then just have time with the song.
Now, I've seen you do both. I've seen you be lyric driven
Mm-hmm.
and beat driven.
I'm both. I'm literally
With you
both
doing
artists.
your own beats, but we ain't. I'm not asking for both.
Yeah.
With you doing your own beats, are you beat driven,
Yeah.
or do you already have in your
I'm-
mind what your lyrics is, so you got to go
So
in
I'm
and try and match the beat to your lyrics?
Split right in the middle. 50-50. When I'm making the beat, I'm like, I'm making the fuck out of this beat. But as soon as I'm done making the beat though, I already know in my head what I want to write to it. Because typically when I'm making beats, I already know conceptually what I want to do.
Okay.
So I'm making the beat, kicks, snares, hi-hats, percussions, whatever. I've got the song that I want to write in mind as I'm making the beat. So I make the beat custom to what I want to write. So when I'm done making the beat, I'm just like, all right, that hi-hat, that snare is exactly what I want for this effect that I want for these vocals that I'm going to put on this beat. And so I really constructed from top to bottom, from the sound that I want to the lyrical structure to the marriage that is those two things.
Okay. I guess if you're making your own beats, you can be kind of 50-50 on it.
Well, I just break it down scientifically. I mean, that's just kind of how my brain is. That's how I was when I played ball, because I was a shooter, a high percentage shooter. And so I broke down my shooting scientifically. And so I used to break down the court in sections. And so, where I was shooting at, if I'm on the right wing or the left wing, scientifically, I'm going to break down angles. I'm going to break down, hey, I'm shooting from the right wing, you're right-handed, your elbow's on the right side of the arc. This is what the trajectory is. This is what the trajectory is on the left side. This is what it is in the front. This is what it is in the corners. Trajectory-wise and percentage-wise, this is what you need to work on. And that's how it will work. I was different. I was not the dude that was just like, oh, I'm missing. I need to fix something. I was like, nah, I'm on the right angle and my right elbow is at a 45-degree angle and the basket's at this, and I'm shooting this percentage, and the reason why I'm shooting this is because of this. And so now I can fix my shot based off of that. I was doing analytics way before it was involved in sports. I was always analytically breaking things down as far as numbers were concerned. And that's how I do music as well too. Even when I do a song where it's like, okay, it got streams is one thing, but then I'll say, okay, engagement wise, I got this many comments or I got this many views and this much percentage. So like song to song, what's the impact?
Okay.
You know, and that'll impact how you're going to write the next song.
Okay, so now with music, kind of a trend I've been noticing, because we've kind of pulled away from what used to be called the mumble rap.
Mm-hmm.
But what we got now is I see a lot of the OGs coming back into the game. What is your feeling on that situation? Because I think it's kind
I
of
love
like
it.
the OGs is kind of like sick of hearing the
No,
bullshit.
I mean, I love it because I grew up on that shit. So, I was born in '88, so I'm about to be 34 in December. So I'm really a tweener, big time. I grew up on old school, but then like I love new school shit, like shit I grew up on
tween.
on the back end of
Okay.
the mid 2000s on.
Okay.
The Joel Santanas, the Cam'rons, the, you know what I'm saying, 50, Kanye, all these people. But
Okay.
before that, it was Jay, Nas, 50, M, Dre, all these lyricists, Ice Cube, E40, Too Short, people like that. So my influences are balanced. And then, when I was about 20 and I came across Kid Cudi, that really opened me up as far as songwriting wise, because I was writing songs that were similar to the cadence that he was bringing. And so when I first heard his music, I was just like, it wasn't something that I was ever trying to bring to the forefront.
Okay.
And so when I heard his music, I was like, oh shit, like there's another dude that like,
Yeah, Cudi was different, but he was
there's
dope.
another dude that's like writing from that perspective.
Cudi was dope.
Because for me, I was writing from the perspective of being a black kid, but I grew up in the suburbs, grew up in Roseville, grew up around a lot of white kids, grew up around different experiences than neighborhood inner city black kids. So even though I had some of those people, those people were my friends, and growing up around all different types of people, I had those types of friends. Their question to me was always like, "Yo, bro, like, you going to a school where there's money and there's different experiences. You're dealing with different shit.
Completely different shit.
So, experience-wise for you, emotionally, mentally, it's going to be different for you as far as what you're seeing. Doesn't take away from your experience of being black, though. What you're receiving, being black in your environment versus what we're receiving might be different, but we're still fucking receiving it. You're receiving the shit just as much as we're receiving it, but you're receiving it from a white environment. That's, I wouldn't call it more damaging, but it's a lot more alarming because you see it on TV where it's so wrong, and then like you dealing with that shit in your face, and I know that's a lot different to deal with. So I had a lot, I dealt with a lot of that shit coming up, and it wasn't like overly crazy, but it was enough for me to know that I was different.
Okay. Kind of like taking a little bit more on that. With you being in Roseville, dealing with more of a white kind of crowd, I guess you would say, and then artists in different parts of Sacramento that's more hood, and you actually rocking with both sides. But with you being, light skinned, did you see it where you weren't black enough or you weren't white enough?
Bro, I dealt with all the sides. So like I dealt with, from the black side, I dealt with two sides. He's black, he's just light skinned. He's a hooper, he's killing it, like he's dope. And then I dealt with like, this nigga, man, is whitewashed and he ain't it. So I dealt with that part. But then on the flip side too, the environment I was in, being around white people, I dealt with acceptability differences. So 50-50 on acceptability differences. Me being light skinned, I was more acceptable to certain white people. But then the other white people, it didn't matter how light skinned I was black, so it didn't matter. So I was dealing with four different, sides.
Okay.
Two from the white side, two from the black. And so I was somewhere, in the middle trying to figure out where I fit at. And so in being smart, being intellectual, being somebody that like speaks both ways type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do this shit. Like I'll talk like this, which is like my natural conversation, but then like I'm intelligent, so like I know how to, you know what I'm saying?
You spoke depending on your environment.
So for us, it's called assimilation, and I learned that very early on, and learned from my pops and my parents about being in this environment and how to maneuver in their environment and how to just know where you're at and what you're doing. And you know, I've always known that I had to. Me and my sister both had to walk around with a level of awareness that not everybody had to, you know, walk around with. And so, and it still, you know, affects me to this day. You know, I still focus on it to this day, where it's like, you know, I know I'm African American, I know I'm black, but I know I'm also mixed as well too. You know, I know I've got 22% European and a couple more percent European, Italian, and which makes up about a quarter of my makeup. So I know I'm about a quarter white, just from genetics. So I'm aware of that too. And so it's just, these are things that you got to pay attention to and you got to be aware of. So, yeah, man, these are some things that I you know, I know is me, you know, but I love me though, so it's good.
That's all that matters in the end. Make sure you love yourself.
Yes.
Now, recently you've been kind of rocking a couple of shows. You just had a show recently
Yes.
with Kamaya.
Yes, I did.
What was that experience like?
My experience with Kamaya, bro, honestly was super dope. It was super dope because I didn't get to meet her, but I got to being able to perform at Harlow's. I never got to perform at Harlow's before. So, you know, being able to perform at a spot I've
Shout
never
out to
performed at,
Harlow's.
shout out to
Great
Harlow's,
place.
bro. And y'all see me over here, my bad. I got my, shout out to Mace Trigger, I was just shouting out. I got my pictures from,
AT doing it all.
I got my pictures from AT and Friends and shit. Shout out to Mace Trigger, man. He just sent the pictures over. I'm about to check these out when we get done. But no, yeah, man. We did Kamaya. That shit was super fucking dope. And you know, I never got to perform at Harlow, so it was really fun to do some shit I never did before. And my lady got to perform with me too. Shout out to Jenny. My label, Atypical Records, myself, Forever C Styles, Jenny, my lady. Her single Looking, which I produced. Shit's hard as fuck. She jumped on stage. I put that shit as the last song on purpose, marketing wise. Kamaya's a female, wanted to bring the lady out. She was the only female to open and perform. She was dope. So shout out to Kamaya, shout out to you know, my team that came out, man. Shout out to my boy Drees, NT Legends, bro. Cali Live that put me on, all that.
Okay.
Rain, my nigga, shout out to Rain, all that.
Now, after you've done Kamaya, you now have a show coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and talk about that because that's also a
I got
Harlow.
another show, so it's not there. So my next show is Downtown Sac. Not at Harlow's, it'll be Downtown Sac, right around the Harlow's area. Tomorrow night, 10,000 likes event. Look at You Music Group, AT, J. Kent, AJ Wesley, Bam, FTA Bam, Lester Barber, Milani the artist, you know what I'm saying? LaShawn, Dre, Keisha, you know what I'm saying? Keja, you know what I'm saying? The squad's gonna be out there, bro. Killing the shit, doing their thing, bro.
Now,
Money
where can
Game's
people
gonna
get
be
where can
fucking.
people get their tickets at?
Money Game's gonna be DJing and shit. People can get their tickets, but we still got pre-sales just for the rest of the night tonight. My man Ronnie's out right now. Shout out to Ronnie, running the shit, management, doing the shit, out there doing his thing, bro. Passing out flyers, pre-sale tickets. You can hit us up. My shit's sold out, but you can still hit up any of the artists I just mentioned. AJ Wesley, as well. What's going down?
Now, you just touched on something that doesn't really happen a lot. You said your man is out there passing out flyers.
Yeah.
Now, is guerrilla marketing still important to you more
To
so
an
than
extent,
the internet?
To an extent, internet's the most important, but to an extent, you gotta still be tangible. So like, you gotta be out there touching hands and talking to people and shit. Like,
Right.
even after this interview right here, like, you know, I'm gonna be going, you know, back to my house and chilling. But before I go back home, I'm gonna stop in my city. My boy, him, is DJing at Troc. I'm gonna stop there, pass out a couple more flyers, talk to the people real quick, do a little 30-minute session, and hit the house. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you gotta still guerrilla marketing and still be tangible and do your shit. So, gotta do your thing, man. Gotta do your thing. But I think overall, I think summary. I just want to say this because I don't want it to be like the craziest longest interview. I want to say this shit, real shit. I want to say this. End of the day, always believe in yourself and always bet on you. Believe in you and do what you believe in your heart the most, and never let anybody tell you any different. And if you're an independent artist, man, there's things I want you to know before I leave. Make sure that you got your distribution in order. I don't care if it's fucking United Masters, DistroKid, whatever. Make sure you got publishing, BMI, ASCAP, TuneCore, Make sure you signed up with Sound Exchange, and make sure you signed up with Sound Trust, man, or Song Trust. Have those 4 things in place so you're getting paid for what you're doing. And outside of that, keep believing in you and keep doing you and keep betting on you every single day. Those things right there, to me, man, are the most important, especially to me right now. Keep betting on you. Make sure you got your shit in order so you get paid, and keep creating and keep being you, man. At the very end of the day, never let nobody tell you shit. If you love it and you believe in it and it's in your heart, rock with that shit, man, straight up.
More jewels from AT. Now,
More jewels.
this is the spotlight, and I'm starting a new tradition here. Seeing how we
What's up,
shine
bro?
a light on artists, and we love this game that we call hip hop because it must be in you and not just on you.
It can't just be, it can't.
So now we gonna start a whole little situation. Shout out to Sunnydale Slim. What we got on this freestyle shit, bruh?
So before we freestyle though, we gotta play one more record.
Oh, we gonna go ahead and play the next record. I thought we was
My
gonna
next
do
record
that
I'm gonna
sometime.
introduce real quick before I hit my second bathroom break is I want
Modelo,
to
running through
introduce it.
you.
I want to introduce it though. This record, I produced this record as well. It's called Bad Little Ting. This is my brand new record I just dropped. It's a whole different type of vibe. It's on a different type of wave. It's R&B pop type shit. Check it out, man. It's called Bad Little Ting. Vibe out to it, man. Enjoy it. We'll be right back with that style too.
Now I know why AT bouncing over here.
I bounce normally, but Modelo, you gotta pay for that fucking sponsorship.
Man, for real. Bad Little Ting by AT.
You gotta pay for
Coming
it,
to
bro.
you here on hype-radio.com. This is a spotlight. To your left, Brad, you missed it. Well, AT is out of control tonight, y'all. But we gonna go ahead and play this new hit single of his. This is Bad Little Ting by AT. Roseville, stand up. You got one finally. Run that back real quick.
She the type to do her own thing. She got to. She on the shit, that's a fact. Bulletproof, making the moves. Shot at the truth, she throw it back one time for me. Oh yeah, yeah. I know she the one for me. Oh yeah, yeah. Might go down in history. Oh yeah, yeah. She got everything I
I'll be
need.
on different types of waves.
Took the 2 shots, need another one. All she wanna do is have some fun. Hey, fuck the arguing and the bickering. I'm tryna get it in. Shawty, she get that shit. Yeah, it ain't no thing, it ain't no thing. I done told you that before, but here we go again. Bad little ting, she a bad one. Hey, bad little ting, baby, come on. Shawty know what it is, she know what it is, know what it is. She let me down in the band. Oh, hey, she bad little ting, hey, bad little ting, she bad little ting. Shawty know what it is, she know what it is, know what it is. She let me down in the band. Oh, hey, she bad little ting, hey, bad little ting, she bad little ting. Hey, that work that for me now, twerk that thing. 4G now, I can't let you go, no, no way. There ain't no way, no. Hey, why you gotta do it like that? Hey, why you gotta move it like that?
Oh, yeah, I made this
Hey,
beat.
you like a helen with some horns, girl, at the same time. That's why you be on my mind. Hey, oh, she got no regard for you in life. Hey, ain't no reason for you to kill him like. Bang, she leave the scene, leave him murder scene when she walk through. My nigga, I'm telling you, she the type to make you fall in love. Ain't no way you could deny her. She the queen of the crop. There's no doubt, baby, got it all. Just bow down like, know what it is, she know what it is, know what it is. She let me down in the band. Oh, she bad little ting, she bad little ting, she bad little ting. She know what it is, she know what it is, know what it is. She let me down in the band. Oh, she bad little ting, she bad little ting, she bad little ting.
Hey,
Brad, that'd be kind of cool. I like the
Thank you.
laid back kind of.
reggae, chili.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was nice. How did we come up with Bad Little Ting, bruh?
So Bad Little Ting. So that beat, I heard the melody. First of all, shout out to Maddox, Cause as a producer, like, you know, like I make shit, but then like I work with loops and shit too. So like, I heard that melody, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. And then
Beat dope.
I just built around it with the pack that I had. And I knew I wanted to do some like R&B pop shit. So like I made the beat, and then when I made the beat, I just started freestyling in the beginning. So the beginning of the song, you hear me doing the, she know what it is, you know what it is. She bet me down in the pain, like, oh, like I was just freestyling that. She been a little thing, like, and then I wrote to it. And then after I wrote to it, it became a song. So the creative process is a beautiful thing, man. I can't explain it. It just comes together.
That's the true meaning of being an artist.
True meaning, man. And I'm gonna show y'all the true meaning of being an artist with this freestyle real quick before I exit at this motherfucker.
Yeah, 'cause,
I'm about to fucking.
Like
this
I
is what
said,
we gonna do, man.
We starting a new trend here at hype-radio.com. This is the spotlight, and if I'm gonna bring you the best gotta know how to motherfucking act. So we gonna see what Mr. AT has got. You know what? I think I'm gonna choose this beat, and let's see
Let's do it.
what you can do with this, bruh.
Let's do it. That's how we gonna end it, man. Shout out to y'all for viewing. Shout out to Hype Radio. Shout out to my nigga Shadow, man. Let's get it. Yeah. Oh yeah, turn this up right here. All off the head, straight freestyle shit, you know. Shout out to Hype Radio. This how we rockin'. AT of A to the Cal, Roseville, stand up. Hey, I'm light skinned like a mellow, like jello, niggas like a hello, yeah, hello, I wave high, I cross over Kyrie, nigga, bye-bye. Suspended for 5 games for them comments. Baby girl getting in my comments. I do my thing, bitch, I am a Houston Rocket. I must be Steve Francis, Houston Rocket. Or maybe Yao Ming with this shit. Sky Hook and shit, I am Kareem with this shit. 33 of only kid. Blue Wild Cinder, a cream, a ring, I do Jabbar. Y'all niggas know I do it all, and I go so hard. Y'all niggas know I go hard. Magic Johnson with this, but no HIV. Baby girl, she talking about she wanna come and be with me, but I cannot be with her, cause I'm doing too many things. Baby girl, I do not bang. Roseville, California, that's what I rep at. Medelo with my right hand, I'm sipping on that beer, and I'm going in. Light skinny with them dreads on his head, boy. Got the tattoos on his body too, boy. She talking about she loving everything that I do. When I step in the building, I got my crew. We got that VIP booth, and we got 2 bottles, my niggas sipping them, and we faded boo. Ooh, I don't know why they talking, dog. 45 up on my back, I'm Michael Jordan in the dog. I'm hitting in the fucking right side of the plate. 250, but nigga, I'm hitting home runs, man. Hey. Might be Bryce Harper, Philadelphia Phil, but I am Harper. Hitting home runs and it's way deep. Going in that pussy, yeah, it's way deep. Doing what I do, and she knee deep. 6 feet deep if you talking shit to me. Tall guy, small guy, but I rep though. Mike Tyson with these hands, nigga, I won't box, bro. Once again, got that Modelo. Sponsor a nigga, I need them checks, ho. Yeah. Versatile with the shit, I rap and I sing and I do funny videos. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, bitch, I'm doing it all. I'm by myself, I represent this kid. By myself, a nigga managing him. You would think there was 20 of them with all of this shit. Managing 6 Instagrams by himself. When you see all of them comments under them posts. Who you think did that shit, nigga? Got a whole team with them, yeah, we going in, nigga. Yeah. Light-skinned and kinda light, nigga, but born December 6th, not December 4th, nigga. Yeah, -2, I must be Derek Fisher. Left-handed with the shit, y'all niggas know it, nigga. Come on. We was having fun with it off the dome. I don't care if there's a couple slips, we having fun.
Mr. AT let it be known he is ready for war.
Let's
this
go.
is what it is. Right. That shit is
Let's go. Roseville, stand up.
Roseville, if you want to get a hold of Mr. AT, brother, go ahead and break it down how they
Hey man, if
get
you
a
guys
hold
want to
of
get
you.
a hold of me, man, Instagram at it's AT Music, ITSAYETEE Music. Same thing on my TikTok, my Twitter, and on my other social media platforms, man. Get at me, DM me, say what's up, follow me, man. Show me love. Come on out to the shows. I'm always doing shit for the fans. I'm always donating as well too, man. I've donated to the American Heart Association. I've donated to the Performing Arts of Roseville. I've coached as well too the last 8-9 years in a nonprofit program. I'm always giving back. I'm always giving back to my fans as well too. So appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. And to all my fans that have been tapping in, I love y'all, man. Keep rocking. Show tomorrow night is gonna be lit. 10,000 likes. Your boy AT Hype Radio Shadow, man. You know how we do it. You know how we get down. And this ain't the only time I'm gonna be up here.
No, it's not. Definitely not going to be the only time.
You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Spotlight on Hype-Radio.com. As the man has said, I am Shadow. This is Mr. AT. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, brother. Life itself is a motherfucker, and you
Straight up.
have blessed me with your
I
presence.
love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
Make sure y'all follow, support Sacramento, Roseville.
Stand up.
Support your mud. If we support ourselves like we support everybody out of bounds, we would be on. Sacramento and Roseville got too much talent for us to be relying on somebody else. Support your mud. Make sure you follow us at Hype Radio is Real. You can always get on us 24/7 with www.hype-radio.com. Plus, we on the go. Tune in on the TuneIn app. We on there too.
Stop playing.
We everywhere, baby. This is your man Shadow. This is Hype-Radio.com. That is Mr. AT.
AT.
And we up out here. Y'all be safe, man. Love you to death.
Yay! Love y'all. Bro, what the fuck I'm talking about? Real energy. Love y'all. Thank you. Bro, real energy. Real shit.